So this is just strange, by the way, but that's why we should get it right. Because when someone comes up to you and they say, "Hey, I've observed close friends and relatives, and it's clear to me that telepathy is possible," because
don't you say it like that?
between people with close psychic ties, because they always know what the other person's going to say, or that they know what they're thinking.
That's a good point.
What should you say to them?
I'd say you need more of a sample size.
No. Okay, hold on for a second. There's two major problems with answer choice A, but let's talk about the first one. When someone says this, why do you think close friends and relatives tend to know what the other one is thinking?
Because they're close.
Because they're close. Yeah. Someone comes in the room, you're like, oh, that person's angry. Oh, that person's happy. You know these people. You live with them for your entire life or whatever. Okay, so there's a reasonable alternative explanation, which is why B is correct. There are two reasons why A is wrong. One has to do with the conclusion itself. Does anyone know? Anyone who got this question right and they're like, oh, I know why it's wrong. Do we know? Oh, Elon.
So I didn't get this right, but I think I know why A is wrong.
Go for it.
I think it's wrong because all you need is one person to be telepathic in order for anybody to be because basically saying that telepathy, if one person is telepathic with another, then telepathy is possible. That's all you need. So even if one person within a sample size of one, it doesn't really matter as long as one person.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, because then that's not a statistically relevant sample size.
No, but all it's saying is that it's indeed possible. It's something
but you could have had a bad experiment.
Greg. Can we go to the moon?
Yeah, we can go to the moon because someone.
How many people do you need to go to the moon to decide that we can go to the moon?
We don't need one person, man. It's not the same exact thing.
Kind of.
What's the other
It is because of the word possible. If it said this were a common thing or this were most people, then you'd need a representative sample. But it's just possible.
What's the other reason?
The other reason. Anyone know the other reason? Come on, Ryan. This is your chance. MJ, go for it.
Can you have a ton of friends and relatives? You have a huge sample size?
Okay, you could have a ton of friends and relatives. What assumption are you making about this individual?
Not popular, just large family.
Huh?
That they even have friends and relatives.
We are assuming they have friends and relatives. But what are you assuming when you say the sample size is small? Aaron?
That it's not representative or statistically significant.
Well, I think if it were small, it'd be hard for it to be representative. Even if it was, it could be representative, but it raises the possibility that it might not be. So if it really is small, that's a problem. But why? What makes you think that this sample size is small? MJ says maybe this person has a lot of close friends and relatives, but what else are you assuming, Aaron?
Well, because this person believes in telepathy, they probably don't have a lot of friends.
That's not like a conclusion.
No, okay, so I think we're missing the boat here.
It's not stating how big group they observe. It just says from observing close friends.
I think everyone in this room is assuming that this is what?
It could be like looking at other people's close friends.
Yes.
And relatives. It's not just yours.
It didn't say that they were his close friends and relatives.
Oh God! How rude!
Relatives by definition means related.
But I could be looking at your brother.
Yeah.
Bijan, you have siblings?
This guy's a stalker.
Yes.
This is wrong for a different reason. I just thought she just said that it needed to be possible, not that there needed to be a large amount of people who were doing it.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And that was the first reason that we talked about. No, that's okay. The second reason is that this is not necessarily this person's close friends and relatives. Yeah. Okay.
That's great.
Are we good? Okay. Yes.
So I chose E. And I get why that's wrong, but I don't really get why that's wrong.
So appeals to a premise one would accept only if one already accepted the truth of the conclusion.
And because the way that I read that is kind of like saying because I felt like both of her arguments are saying from observing close friends, relatives, it clears that telepathy is possible. The amazing frequency with which a good family knows one. I feel like that's repeating the same. It's like they're
No, the premise and the conclusion are different. So one is talking about what they're feeling and thinking, the other is talking about telepathy. As long as they're different, even if they're close, They're not. It's not a circular argument.
Okay, because that's okay. That's why. Okay.
For a circular argument to be the case, it's you literally have to repeat the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm still like, what's wrong with the thought process that if you have a larger group of people experiencing the same thing, plausible alternatives become less likely? You know, like if I talk to you and you say that, I could be like, well, that's just because you're stressed. But then if I talk to 100 people,
Well,
Well, can I
that's a
say they were
different
all
issue.
stressed?
If you prove that one person actually did it,
yeah, I agree with that.
then it's possible. Yeah, but
That
you're
was my
questioning
thought
whether that person
process.
actually did it, and that's a different issue.
When I did that, that's what I was thinking. Because he doesn't, like, there's nothing about it being proved or anything.
Yeah, but it's a
That,
the sample size doesn't matter if all you're trying to prove is that one could do it. Yeah.